humans. Welcome back to the podcast. If you are listening to us within the United States of America, let me just say happy birthday. It seems appropriate that you could sum up today's conversation in the lyrics of our own founding father, Alexander Hamilton. And these lyrics, talk less, smile more. It's a really entertaining conversation and an important one too, and one that I think you're really going to enjoy. So let's get started.
This is a production of Pioneer Dream, celebrating 30 years of moving stories for corporate, nonprofit, and entertainment partners. Please help us keep the conversation going by rating, liking, and subscribing to this podcast. Thank you. Also, make sure to check out our other podcast, Mixed Up Mystics, featuring refreshingly honest conversations about Christianity, and Got a Minute Mini Podcast, presenting funny stories and independent music, all in about 15 minutes. Now, here's Jay and Anjanette Webster.
Humans, what is up? Welcome to the month of July. Welcome to Hope for Humans, and welcome to Anjanette. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing quite well on this July 1st.
You know, many of our astute listeners will know that there's something different about me. And I'll get into that in just a second. But before we do that, let me just tell you that if you are interested in all things Hope for Humans, our other podcast, Mixed Up Mystics or Got a Minute, or you just want to know more about the Dreamers program and all that you can do, there's one place, one little thing you can do.
Right. What is that one little thing?
You can sign up for the Dreamery. That's our digital newsletter. It comes out once a month. There is no spam involved. It's just glory and bonus material and everything that makes you happy.
Right.
And I'll just tell you that you can sign up for that for free. Just send us your email. We'll put you on the list. It's a great thing. There's a new one coming out, I think, next week.
Oh.
So now's the time to sign up for it.
It is. It's great. And unlike a lot of mailing lists you get on, I mean, I'm on some mailing lists. They email me. I swear to you.
Multiple times a day, man.
I feel like a couple of them, and I'm like, no, this is just once a month. Take it or leave it. Interesting info, articles, music, info about what we're doing.
Yeah, our relationship's not this level. I'm not at a multi-day email level with you.
We will visit you occasionally.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't need to know that the pants are now 30% off. I just, when they were just 15% off this morning.
I know. I just
quit.
unsubscribed to 2 things today.
Yeah. And so anyway, sign up for the Dreamery. It's a really cool newsletter. You can sign friends up for it. If for some reason they don't like it, which how would they not like it? But
come on.
They can simply cancel and then it'll be immediate. And, it just sends me an email with a wah on it. No, I'm kidding. So anyway, do that. Also, speaking of staying connected, our sister podcast, the Mixed Up Mystics, which is a spiritual podcast about kind of growing up in the bedazzled Bible Belt of America and having some commentary on that, as all people do. That you can stay connected with if you just go to Facebook and just type in search for Mixed Up Mystics. I think there's a hyphen between mixed and up, Mixed Up Mystics. And then you can sign up and follow that page.
Nice.
And get all kinds of fun, wonderful information and have some comment. We're getting ready to do our traditional Ask a Reverend segment. So if you have a question for Jason Elmore, who's the pastor of Friday Night Church, he'll be in maybe even as early as next week for that episode. And so if you have questions, submit them now via the Facebook page. It's
always a fun time. Hey, do we have a Facebook page for Hope for Humans?
You know we don't.
Have you thought about having one?
No, because I don't really care about those humans.
Oh,
no,
wow. They're listening to us right now. Anyway, something we can discuss later. I like being able to connect people that way.
Yes, absolutely. We can do that.
We should do it.
So back to me. You'll notice that
I'm sitting across from you. I don't feel like there's anything different about you.
There is.
Man of mystery.
It's just a whole thing. So this happened to me about 2 years ago. I had a little episode of... I don't want to sound like a hero.
Okay, you probably won't. I'll let you know.
I got water trapped in my ear and it would not come out. And before you say, well, did you do the drops? You know I did.
He's done all the stuff. Well, you're a former competitive swimmer. Yeah. You know all of the things you can do to get water out of your ears.
It was a thing that required some hospitalization, and it wasn't, I
didn't stop, you big
it
baby.
It required a doctor's appointment and all that stuff. And so I got through that.
It's happened to me before.
And
I don't want to tell you how long it was stuck in there.
Now that I've lived through it one time, you're just like, because you think, oh, well, by the afternoon, I'll be freer in another hour.
Yeah.
Just dry up. I'll do the drops and the whole thing. But now that I've lived through it and I know that it can go like days and weeks on end, I mean, literal weeks on end, I'm like, oh. And here's the worst part. So it's on one ear. It's my left ear. And so I feel like George Bailey.
So your good ear is the right ear.
I feel like George Bailey, like I'm deaf in one ear.
Yeah.
And now that I have that feeling, I understand now, I think, why old people are so cranky. Because if you're deaf, it makes you irritated. And it's not just like, oh, I can't hear very well out of one ear. It's like
you totally clogged.
Well, it's also like there's an ocean in your ear. So there's just a low over
it is
there.
A weird feeling.
And sometimes it kind of alters with what you do with your jaw, your mouth, or whatever.
Yes.
And then there's just this low leakage that's happening.
Okay, I'm going to need you to not say low leakage ever again.
Yeah,
That's
I just
gross.
wanted to, anyway. Yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry. And that has happened to me. So we need to get you to the doctor because that happened to me and it lasted 2 months. Yep. I know.
Yeah, you always got to one-up me.
I'm
mine
just
was
saying,
a month and 3 weeks, but
I
no,
really
you're 2 months. That's
I didn't
fine.
know it was something that you would have to go to the doctor for, right? You keep thinking like, it's fine, it's going to get better, and it didn't. And so I will try to help you with that this afternoon as soon as we're done podcasting.
I had like a 3 coffee meeting yesterday.
You did?
I had three coffee meetings yesterday.
In a day.
3 coffee day. Yeah. So I had a 7:45.
Okay, I never, just for everyone listening, I don't ever have a meeting at 7:45 a.m. You can prevent that.
I'll just tell you, it was a lot of listening. It was a whole lot of listening.
Yes, I know who you're meeting with. Yes,
and then I had a noon-ish, I had 10:35.
Okay,
and then I had a 1 o'clock, and
wow,
it was amazing.
That's impressive. And how did you do that? Being deaf in one ear,
I had to announce at each thing, "I'm so sorry. I have water trapped in my ear, and I'm deaf on this side. So if you see me straining, and I was easily distracted. I couldn't hear properly, and it just really made a lot more sense for the people in my life that I know struggle with hearing issues.
Yeah,
so it's like,
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you just point your good ear toward them, and we'll get you to the doctor.
I did, yeah.
But this is great. I'm sure everyone's fascinated by all the details of this.
We share a lot in this group, and it's an intimate group. And I'm setting. We've talked about friendships, that you have the friendships you want to have. You set the bar for your friendships and how intimate you are. That's what you want your relationship to be. So I'm being transparent and intimate. I'm playing hurt, guys. I'm playing hurt, but I'm still showing up.
I'm proud of you. I will position my mouth toward you. Like, okay, I'm going to move my microphone. Is this better?
No, because I have headphones on, so it's all. It's all good
that's right. Never mind.
Yeah. We have a proper setup in here, friends.
Just trying to help.
So this is an interesting conversation today. It's interesting because of the breadth of it, the size of it, where it kind of goes. But it's something, and what's interesting is it's a conversation that I thought would be more appropriate, more properly placed in the Mystics podcast. And then the more I thought about this conversation and this discussion, the more I thought, no, this actually is much broader than that sphere, than that grouping. And so this is something that we can all kind of talk about. And I don't really have a cool way to get into it.
Well, why didn't you think about a cool way to get into it?
I did. I tried, and I was just like, well, I don't know.
Sometimes it just seems like too slick.
Here's what happened. What happened.
All right, talk to me.
You were in a conversation with a friend of ours 2 or 3 days ago. And the conversation was interesting enough to you that you related to me. Okay. And in this conversation, this person was quite sincere, but also very alarmed at the future direction of our country.
Oh, right.
And a particular people group that were, was threatening that scenario. And part of this
in their viewpoint.
Yeah. So, without giving any information about who the people are and all this in the conversation.
Do you want to just name them and make it easier?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you see Ed, just tell him.
Ed, don't worry about this.
Don't worry about it.
It's going to be fine.
No, in this particular case, it was about this ongoing concern and even conspiracy about how America is going to be taken over by Sharia law. Is that how you say it? Sharia law? Yeah.
Sharia?
Yeah, both of them. I went to high school with both of those girls.
Oh, let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah. And so anyway, the whole thing is the Muslim law thing is going to come in, and it's really restrictive, and you're going to be wearing, gowns and towels and head things, and you're
essentially forced to abide by rules that are held by that extremists in that group.
And so the more I thought on that, and it really set with me, and I know it set with you too because we talked about it, but
Well, I couldn't believe I was having the conversation.
Right.
It was one of the, that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, okay. And then I did my best to listen. And
yes.
Yeah, it was very interesting. So I'm sorry. Continue.
So the more I've thought about that, the more I thought of this phrase, this thing. It's just, we should be aware. We should beware and alert to anyone who is preaching or promoting or selling fear.
Yeah.
For the means of an ends to division, for the means of the end of separation, for the means of the end of demonizing another people group. Anybody that's selling fear for that purpose, that's something that a red flag should go up for all of us. And here's why I think that's true. In the general populace, the people that we celebrate the most are, as George Bush would say, the unificators. So, starting with Jesus and loving your neighbor, Gandhi, Martin Luther King,
Bishop Tutu,
all of these kind of strategic, amazing leaders who have sought to unify us, and we say that's and even now we say with great regret and remorse, well, we're just so divided. We just can't get along, and we say that with this kind of tinge of sadness.
Yeah,
and yet we entertain these people over on this other side who are marginalizing other people and sowing fear about other people. And this is something we've done throughout human history.
Yeah.
We, intentionally or unintentionally, knowingly or unknowingly say, oh, this people group is a threat.
Is this?
It's what we did to Jews in the Second World War. It's what we did in America against African Americans. It's how we established the KKK. It's how we established segregation. We said, okay, these people are evil for whatever reason. What we did to Native Americans is what we've done throughout history. Americans didn't invent any of this. We just have taken part in it. And so we find these people groups and we make them a threat. And we sow seed and we say, now these people over here, and so it's for the sake of division. And never in recorded human history has that played out well. Never in the course of human history have we judged those moments as positives. We've always said, oh, this was, a black eye for us. This was a bad thing. And so when you get someone who is alarmed or an alarmist about certain things, you have to say, okay, this person that's having the conversation with me may not know this. It may not be intentional, but where will this land?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to land in us seeing us versus them.
Yeah.
This is going to land on division. This is going to land on that person now being a threat to me. And that's how I'm supposed to see them and interpret this from now on.
Right.
And like I said, that's never played well. That's never finished well. It's never been a good place to be.
Yeah. I think it's, sadly, I think it's human nature. Like you said, I mean, gosh, those of you who don't know, we got to visit Spain. I don't mean to sound fancy, but it was an amazing experience. And their history in so many ways is super sad. I mean, the Spanish Inquisition. I mean, these things have happened throughout human history. So Americans don't have a corner on that market, but we are perfecting it right now.
Yes.
I feel like, and it's such a dangerous place to be.
Right.
So I wonder though, do you feel like it's like chicken or the egg? Are people trying to separate us because of fear, or is the fear separating us?
I do think that there are people who are strategic about it. I think, as we've always known, fear sells. And sometimes it's not enough to promote good. You have to have an enemy.
Oh, you always have to.
And especially if you're trying to promote a cause. So if, you can make poverty an enemy, you can make cancer an enemy, but it's more strategic and more helpful to make somebody else, another people group, the enemy.
Give it a face.
And that will help you promote. That will help you rally the troop. That will help you rally the finances. That will help you rally the energy that you need. And it gives you someone to focus on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a thing. I mean, it's putting a face on the darkness, putting a face on the fear is really, really important for all of us.
Yeah. And I think people that often end up, and we don't know how, but in leadership roles that are potentiating fear, they have ulterior motives for people to become separatists. And I think as people and citizens at large, we can get caught up in that. So because of the fear that they're seeding and sowing, then we start understanding, well, maybe we should separate out from these people.
So the way it works is they sow some, what they will call facts, what they'll call truth. It's never is. It's always this kind of heavily orchestrated, heavily focused thing. And so they'll start saying, well, this is the history of this people group, or this is the pattern of this is their intent. Just read their material. Just read what and they'll pull quotes usually out of context. They'll draw things out. They'll say, this has always been their intention. This has always been the thing they wanted to do. These brownies want to take over the Girl Scouts, and that's always been the whole plan from the beginning. Just look at their bylaws, for crying out loud.
I mean, come on. And what about the Bluebirds? Everybody always ignores them.
What a cult they are. The Bluebirds, come on.
I was in the Bluebirds for a while.
You were? They wouldn't let you in the Bluebirds.
I was a very cute Bluebird in New Mexico.
Did you wear costumes and outfits?
That's pretty much why you go, is for the snacks and for the outfits.
So there's a color coordinated thing. So you were, I'm assuming, blue.
Yeah, it was called the Campfire Girls. It was like this whole other contingent.
Girl Scouts were in green.
Yes, and the Brownies were in brown.
Wow, that's
fitting. Actually, I'm hearing like da-da-da-da. It just reminds me like West Side Story.
Jets and Sharks.
Yeah, but yeah, the Bluebirds was really fun. And mostly we just did crafts and had snacks and wore the little outfits. I think we were gonna
there was no
plan a camp out, but we didn't do it.
There were no natural enemies for Boy Scouts. I mean, there was no rival group. Well, there were hoodlums. If you had idle time, and you were smoking in the alleys, I think you were the enemy of the Boy Scouts.
Smoking and dancing. Yeah, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
Were you a Boy Scout?
They didn't let me. I was a Cub Scout, and then they said, I think this is far enough for you.
Oh, that's so funny because, my dad famously was kicked out of the Boy Scouts at 11 for smoking in the 1960s.
Same size he was now. And, my brother Jimmy, on the other hand, is such a citizen. He's an Eagle Scout. He graduated Boy Scouts.
I know. He did the whole thing.
He should have gone on to politics with a pedigree like that.
He's an attorney.
Like
yeah, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy. But anywho, we digress.
Yeah, so this whole thing about twisting information because you need an enemy and because you can't elevate what you're doing without that. You can't make the sell without the fear. And so to answer your question, yes, sometimes that happens because of the fear of the unknown. I don't know this people group. I don't know what they believe. Right. And so there's a prejudice that happens with
different. They act different.
But then this other part of it is strategic. It is intentional. And that is, I'm going to twist this. I'm going to make these people the enemy in order to elevate our side. So we're seeing this obviously a lot in politics right now. You and I, grew up in, as I said, the bedazzled Bible Belt of America.
The bedazzled belt buckle of the Bible Belt.
Excuse me. And so in our era of the 80s and 90s, it was really important at that time for the American church to separate itself. And so it did this whole thing about the us versus them, us versus the quote-unquote the world.
Yes, and we had our own music. We had our own movies. We had our own games and culture, our own activities. And all that was, in essence, to protect what we
and to accomplish
our children,
and to accomplish that, we kind of vilified and stereotyped
the other people,
the world,
the regular world,
and so we created a fear about the world that was contagious.
Yes, they're going to get your
kids. That the world's values were contagious for us. That all that stuff. That the world didn't understand us. That the world was actually out to get us. That they wanted to take over Christian values and the church values and stop the church and shut down the church. And so we always lived in this constant fear of the aggressive world, which ironically, those were the very people that as a church group, we were supposed to be serving. As a church group, we were supposed to be helping. If we had anything, we were supposed to be giving it. We were supposed to be loving it. So we abandoned our core values as a result of someone causing us to fear a people group. And so we walked away from all that.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And now there's quite a resurgence of that whole viewpoint, actually, sadly, in culture, especially in the middle of the country, I feel like.
Yeah. So I think, again, if it's a preacher, if it's a politician, if it's a family member, there's a lot of it, obviously, in podcasts and social media right now, but anyone that is promoting and pushing fear for the sake of separation, fear for the sake of division.
Yeah.
Even on a sort of subconscious, subliminal level, then that should be a red flag for us. That should be an awareness for us.
Yeah, and I think you have to look at what's the motivation of those, and I'm using air quotes for those of you who can't see me, leaders.
Yes.
What's their motivation? Is that continued power for a certain platform or regime?
Yeah.
Is that financial gain? I mean, why are they breeding that?
Well, I think
Do
what
they
happens,
think they really want to protect you?
I think, it's always about fear. So whether somebody recognizes it or it's unintentional, that's up to the individual. Yes, there are people who are orchestrating things on purpose for the sake of separation.
Well, strategist, speaking of George Bush.
There are other people who are just simply given to fear. And so in the midst of that fear, without correcting that fear, without recognizing that fear, they're giving into fear, and then fear searches for more evidence to support that fear. So once you're convinced that these people are the boogie people, once you're convinced that these people are out to get you, once you believe that, then you end up kind of filtering information that supports that.
That's your lens.
Yeah. So you will meet 10 of the thems.
Yeah.
And only one of those might be a bad person or support, some of the characteristics you think of that people group, but you will believe the one and ignore the 9.
Yeah, you will be searching for it. And what's interesting is in this conversation, which ended up being amiable, it was actually a good conversation to have. I tend to stray from conflict. It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
But it was like a Monday morning, and I was like, dude, I need more coffee and probably some liquor to help. No, I'm kidding. But, to make this. But anyway, we got through. It was all good. But what's interesting about that, talking about things that support your viewpoint is, and we talk about this a lot, but man, we're in it right now, is the whole social media algorithm. Like that's kind of coming to, I'm actually glad that that's coming. I'm tired of hearing about it because it's becoming popular, but it's helping people understand that the information that we receive, a lot of people receive all of their news.
Yes.
And I'm air quotes again, news via social media. And what's interesting about the way the algorithm works, and you guys know, and everyone has one. What's interesting? I was listening to another podcast. You can actually go, and I don't know how to do it, and you can find your algorithm that the computer has designed for you based on things. Yeah. So you can look and see. It's interesting. I just did this the other day. I don't really read stuff on social media. I have to use it for work. I cruise through. I'm really, low key about it, as the kids would say. But I did click on an article, and it was about something from a Christian perspective because it was somebody that I had heard something about or whatever. And then, man.
Oh, it's all over. Yeah.
The next day, it was like, so then I've had to be like, stop sending me this stuff. So the point is, you will find that information will find you. So if you're afraid of something and you read something about that viewpoint, then that just a computer program is designed to sell advertising. Is what it is. Will come and find you and will start feeding that stuff to you to support your fear.
Every time you're on social media, you are shopping.
You're shopping.
You are building the world that you want.
That's right.
On social media. With every click and with every pause.
Well, yes.
It just is a thing that says it tells that computer. Hey, I want more of this. It's like going to the store, the grocery store, and you buy kettle chips, which I love me some kettle chips. I do like a good
kettle chip,
And so you buy the kettle chips, and the next time you go back, and the third or fourth time, there's the kettle chip flavor you like, but then right next to it is a barbecue kettle chip. Huh.
I didn't know they had the kettle chip.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And then you come back the next week, it's a sour cream.
Yeah.
barbecue and original flavor.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, so every time you buy that, you're saying, I want more of this on my shelf. And every time you hit social media, you are telling them, yes, I like this, and I want you to get me more of that. And they're saying, well, we'd like to give you more of that because
so here you go.
if we provide more of that,
You'll
you
read
stay
the ad
on
that's in between.
longer,
That's
and that
exactly
will give us more advertising space for you.
Well, and
because you are a consumer.
Exactly. What really creeped me out about the whole algorithm thing is I kind of even understand. I mean, our background's in advertising and marketing. So I kind of understand if you click on a particular ad about like something for your bad neck, that you're going to get more ads like that. I don't like it, but I get it.
Yeah.
What creeped me out was that this is happening with the information that's fed onto a feed, which is air quote news. And not only, you don't even have to click. All you have to do is slow down your scroll. Yeah. So this thing is watching, and it's like you're moving at this pace, you're moving this pace. Oh, my neck does kind of hurt. Slower. Not cool, but don't move on. It's too late.
Yeah.
And so same with the information you're getting. It's insane.
That's where we say we're no longer interested in truth. We just want supporting evidence for what we already believe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't care about truth. We care about feeling good.
And
we care about supporting the conspiracies we have, the viewpoints we have, the policies
we easier. And then if we surround ourselves with those type of people, and that's it.
So it puts us at a disadvantage because just trying to find truth, as your dad is famous for saying, there's never been more information and it's never been harder to find the truth. So,
well, what was this person who's a great person that I really respect a lot?
Well, not anymore. We don't.
No, we do. Good friend. And it was an amiable conversation. It was good for us to hear each other out on those perspectives. But when I mentioned I said, well, that's so interesting because it was such a different viewpoint than what you or I might have.
Right.
And I said, let me ask you this. I said, where are you getting your information? And so even that concept, and they're like, well, I mean, like I have this one podcast and then I'm on my phone. And I was like, let me just tell you about the algorithm. Like I'm learning about this too. And they were sort of like, whoa. And I said, I said, so the more you search that out, the more it will come to you. And so I said, it takes, and the thing that's tough is like, we all live in a busy society and we all have a lot of responsibilities, but it takes some understanding where the information is coming from and some effort to look at different viewpoints.
It's really not that hard. Like I get stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that
doesn't
really
seem right.
I don't know. I mean, because obviously it's written to get your attention. So it's usually a little
salacious.
Yeah, flamboyant and salacious and over the top. And it's meant to grab your attention. It's meant for you to say, what?
It's meant for you to slow your scroll, even just to read the headlines. Slow your scroll.
Slow your scroll, buddy.
Slow your scroll.
But within 10 seconds, and this is the upside of AI.
Yeah.
I could copy that even as a picture. You know, I don't have to get the text. I can just copy it, and just say, is this real?
Oh, yeah.
Did he really say that? Did she really say that?
Did she really say that?
Did she say that?
She did not say that.
And within 5 seconds, be like, no, they didn't say that. Or they said that, but it's out of context. And
it's interesting.
This, and this. And so you can slow your anger roll by just saying, you can still think the person's a son of a bitch, but... But you
can still hate them.
Somebody said something the other day about they posted something, and I don't respond to posts very often. But occasionally, I just want to, I'll just say, hey, I'm just letting you know, this appears to be an AI meme, and this is not
debunked.
Real, right?
Yeah, and that can be
helpful.
There
was a thing someone said the other day. Lee, there were 440,000 people who were turned away from jury duty in California, but they're still, they're not even registered voters, and they're immigrants and all this stuff, and so it was completely
false,
out of context. People were outraged, and so I just said, hey, I just want you to know that this has been disproven and is not correct in any way.
Yeah.
This, and that are not related, and just letting you know.
Yeah, people need to know. And in this conversation that I had, this person was concerned about a very extreme grouping within a religious group.
Right.
And so my viewpoint, or what, I tried to communicate in the conversation is, oh, well, I'm the extremist. I mean, that's scary, but also see the Spanish Inquisition, see what we're doing to people. And this was actually a part in the conversation that I think had mojo. It was sort of eye-opening for both of us, is I said, this person was fearing their civil liberties being infringed upon by a particular religious extremist group, and that becoming more proliferated within our country.
Yeah.
And I said, gosh, it's so interesting. I said, because we hang out with a lot of people. I said, we're not on the right, we're not on the left, we're stuck in the middle with you, and that's our joke. And but it's true. We have friends on all sides of every aisle.
Yeah.
And I said, the people that I hang out with that you would probably think are, air quote, man, a lot of air quotes today, left, also fear, as much as you do, the infringement of their civil liberties by Christian extremists.
Yeah.
And this person was like, what? And I said, oh, yeah, dude. And I resisted the temptation to be like, yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, it's happening. Like, people are being forced to do this.
Right.
So this person was fearing something that I feel like is sort of imaginary.
Right.
When it's kind of, in my opinion, happening to some people I know in like their actual life. And so that was interesting. And just the fact that this person was open to realizing, interesting, these people. So he said, we're all fearing the same thing.
Yeah.
We're fearing the same thing by different groups of people that have been made the enemy. And that doesn't mean that we don't have to be aware. I mean, freedom has always had enemies.
Yeah, we've always, as we've said, they're just as afraid of your America as you are of theirs.
Yeah. And so just even understanding that about the people who have different viewpoints than yours, they're also afraid.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so if we're willing to continue to like be loving and open and maybe having these conversations, it was informative and
also
interesting.
Reminds me of this conversation we've had before, which is, human nature is kind of built this way, but we, especially now, I think maybe even more so, we have this tendency to be blind to the sins of our own side, but really focused on the sins of the other side. So if you are of a political party, if you are a Democrat, man, can you see the crap on the Republicans?
The fallacy,
Oh my gosh, and the things that they're saying, and the things that they're doing, and the way that this, and then you don't see anything on your side.
Yeah.
And you never see, and this is the same thing for, religious groups. So you can, if you're of a Christian persuasion in America, man, can you point out the things the Muslims are doing, or the Jews are doing, or the atheists are doing, all that stuff that you would never see or take into account. Oh, that's just an anomaly for Christians.
Well, my favorite is, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
No, like, so we just don't see our own sins. We don't see our own darkness. We don't see our own mistakes, whether that's in personal conflicts from one side to the other. You get in a fight with a sibling, or whatever, or a neighbor or something like that, and all you can see is what they've done wrong. You don't see any of the way that you played into that, any of the way that you aggravated that.
Yeah.
And that's a really dangerous place for us.
Yeah. And all of these things take time. We talk on this podcast a lot about the value of perspective, or being willing to put yourself in someone else's position.
Right.
So when you have somebody that fears around you, and in this conversation that I had a couple of days ago, I thought, why is this person afraid of this? And then knowing what I do about this person's life and some of the things they've been through and their orientation, how they've grown up, I thought I could see, I don't agree, but I could, knowing their perspective or looking into it, taking some time to look into it, I could see how they could maybe get here.
Yeah.
And then that gives us, anytime we're willing to look into somebody else's perspective, their story, try to have understanding or empathy toward why they might see something, then we have compassion toward them.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to have toward each other.
Yes.
So what do we do? How do we do this? There's a lot of this, man, and it's fired up.
I think we look for the red flag, first of all. So when we hear someone promoting fear, when we hear someone promoting outrage, and the end result or the end request is division, separation, suspicion.
Yeah.
That should set off an alarm in us. That should set off a red flag in us.
Well, and we know that anger is almost always caused by fear.
Yeah, it's the natural response of fear is anger. Outrage.
Yeah, back off.
So
don't tread on me.
when you are being asked to be outraged, when you are being asked to be angry, when someone is causing division and separation, then a red flag should go up.
Yeah.
And we should say, why
this?
is this, and what is this, and what's going to be the end result? Because as we say, historically speaking, that has never, ever worked out well.
Right.
It's never been a place that we've glorified in history and said, oh, back then.
We feared.
Remember when George Washington hated the other side? No, he didn't. He was constantly trying to, get these teams together, get people together, get the nation together, keep the nation from falling apart. When that red flag happens, then it might be time to change the channel. It might be time to change the church. It might be time to say, I can't, no.
Change the church.
But, and I don't know that everybody knows what they're doing. I do think sometimes we just fall into the pit of fear.
I think so too. I mean, humans a lot.
This friend of ours, he wasn't trying to do something malicious.
No.
He just got caught in the wave of fear.
Exactly.
That was being pushed
and
from
sometimes
somewhere else.
It's unconscious. We don't even, a lot of times we don't understand why we're doing what we're doing. And so, so look for the fear. Yeah. And then look for the motivation behind the people that are perpetuating that fear.
I do want to say something. This is, we do make a big deal about.
You know what? You can say whatever you want because it's your podcast.
I appreciate that, friends. Well, we make a big deal about not turning this into a spiritual podcast and all that kind of stuff and trying to be a broad bridge for everybody.
Well, we just want it to be something that everyone can listen to.
But I do want to say a little something to my Christian listeners real quick.
Oh.
Yeah. This is incredibly important as people who live in the Bible Belt, that we have this thing, and Christianity especially, or all religion really, but Christianity is being used as a tool for this fear now. And it's really diabolical. And, I think about the way that if you get back to the teachings of Jesus, who said, love your enemy, do good to those who hurt you. And I think about this thing, that this promise of heaven, to which, is kind of the cornerstone of that faith, is to say, hey, we have a future. We know what that future is. That should relieve us from the tension. That should say, oh, you're cool. Now get on with this stuff. Now that your destination and your destiny is resolved, take heart and go do the good you can do.
Right.
And also that this thing about us versus them, and creating an anger against the very people that we are called to love and embrace and reveal the light of the kingdom of God to. It's hard to do that when you hate them.
Yes.
It's hard to do that when you fear them.
That's what's so
tricky.
tricky.
It's hard to do that when you've made them an enemy. And so if you buy into the Gospels, if you buy into the truth of that spirituality, then don't let this thing corrupt it. Don't let this thing twist it. Don't let this be used and perverted into some dark tool that actually does the exact opposite of what the spiritual practice tells us to do and calls us to do. And that's the diabolical part of all this.
Yeah.
And so
a lot of people would say, sadly, that Christianity in America particularly has become known for hate.
Yeah, right.
And when the truth is, what Jesus showed and modeled and taught was all about love and acceptance.
I was thinking about this
ironic.
thing today where, Jesus talks about how he didn't come on to the world to bring peace, and he came on to bring fire and all this stuff. And I was thinking, when he says that, in my interpretation, am I looking at, it is a fire, it is a war against the world system, and nothing could be more part of the world system than us versus them, than division. Never have we ever said, well, they're just too peaceful. Well, they're just getting along too well.
Yeah, it's
well,
kind of boring.
Just too kind to each other. No, the world system has always been division. The world system has always been darkness. The world's always been about fear and conflict. And so if you're setting fire to that, if you're struggling against that, then that very thing is, nope, let's sow peace. Yeah. Nope, let's find understanding. Nope, let's embrace.
Well, and I feel like, talking about things that we can do is look for the fear, look for the motivation behind the leaders that perpetuate fear. Another way that you and I try our best to counteract this is by finding good that we can do in the world. So we don't combat it by getting in. I didn't like the conversation I had the other day. I needed to have it, and I was willing. But we're not out there doing that. But what we're trying to do is we will find people from other religions to befriend and to show kindness and love to on purpose to combat that. Because you can imagine how they would feel, you know, in our country. So I think that's how we combat it, is by doing the good and looking for ways that we can love
strangely
and accept.
enough, the more you tell someone they're an evil enemy,
the more they feel like one.
The more they feel like that.
Yeah.
And it's, the more we push people and push them out of the mainstream and get suspicious of them, that's, we as you said, we went to España. And, and one of the unique parts of that, even though they speak a lot of English, is especially when we got to Madrid, they spoke a lot less English.
Yeah.
And the idea of being not part of the general populace, the idea of not being speaking the same language as everybody else and being in that part of it did make you feel a little nervous.
Yeah.
Did make you feel like, oh, well, what if someone doesn't understand me? What if someone misinterprets my response? What if I do something wrong here in this process? And so the heightened fear came in on that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think the more we push people and marginalize people and push them off to the side and look at them with suspicion, then the more that grows.
Yeah.
And it becomes a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point.
I mean, let's just not do that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's a lot of hoopla going on about our country's 250th birthday, and that's cool. It's something that should be celebrated. We live in the great experiment.
This is our tribe, man. We love this place.
And it's amazing. But I do like what U2 says, or Bono says, that America is an idea.
Right.
And so we are the bearers of that light, but instead we're crapping it out for the whole world.
Right.
But let's just not do that. Let's celebrate it. I mean, WWE matches on the White House lawn aside, let's celebrate by loving and accepting and combating that fear.
It's you have to be intentional about it.
But you do. It takes some work. Fight your algorithm.
You and I are talking a big talk here, but we have fears. We have, we run into people groups we don't know that well.
Yeah.
We have our own racism. We have our own social, povertyism and everything else where it's easy for us to fall into that because that's human nature. Oh, that's different. It's different from me. Now I must be suspicious.
Yeah.
And so you have to be intentional in this. You have to be focused in this. And you have to take a risk that your political party, your religious group, your religious affiliation, your religious congregation, your family members might be wrong or not fully, it's not like you have to throw it all out. It's just that you have to be discerning. You have to have some discretion about it. You have to be intentional about it. So pay attention to the flag. When the red flag comes up, that's a wonderful itch to scratch, and you want to be outraged. And there's an energy to that, and we got to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's fun to find those people. Hey, can you believe this?
That's why we have collegiate teams. No one wants to have a football team without people to play against.
Right.
You love rivalries. That's all part of it. But in the social world, in the real world out here, it's a dangerous, dangerous thing.
Yeah.
And we should be paying attention to it. And we should not be holding people more accountable, And you can do that in kindness, and you can do that in respect. Like I said, I don't do responses on social media, but on occasion when something has been completely blown out,
compelled to.
And if I know the person and I do it with a great deal of tenderness and respect, I think maybe this is an AI meme, this, because here are the facts.
And sometimes you want to be like, you're whacked.
Oh my gosh,
but
that's not how I want to respond.
That doesn't help. That does not help anything. So let's celebrate our amazing country and the hopeful future that we have.
States.
Let's
put the United back
unite,
in
man.
Let's put the United back in our name.
Put the United back in states. I like.
Hey, make sure you sign up for the Dreamery so we can stay connected. Go to the Mystics page on Facebook, and like Anjanette's idea, maybe we'll create a Hope for Humans page on the Facebooks and stay connected that way too. So
we'll do it. Enjoy your 4th of July, and maybe we'll try to think about some of these things over the weekend while we celebrate our country.
We the people. Peace out, friends.
Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share this episode. And remember, continue this conversation with someone you know. This is Pioneer Dream.